China didn't have a problem with politicians disagreeing with the leadership, nor did they have a media problem. But we sure had every possible voice, many of them with all kinds of intentions that were not noble, ready to capitalize on a circumstance where there was uncertainty and resentment and anger and fear and whip that up in the biggest way.
Wow. So China, of course, doesn't have a problem with dissenting opinions. Yeah, it's a totalitarian regime. We live in a free country, Francis. What sort of an expert, what sort of a leader doesn't understand that there's going to be a plurality of voices? I once heard Jay Bhattacharya say this quite eloquently, where somebody said, lockdowns would have worked had it not been for people like you and Martin Kohlsdorf and the Great Barrington Declaration, had it not been for people like you who are scientists who are openly skeptical of lockdowns. And Jay said in response, what does it say about your public health intervention that it is so fragile that even one scientist who disagrees with it is enough to thwart its effect nationally? It tells you it wasn't a great public health intervention to begin with. Francis Collins must understand we live in a free country. Anytime you implement anything that has never been done in human history, there's going to be somebody who's actually smart and well-intentioned who disagrees with you. And if your policy is so flimsy and your worldview so narrow that you don't know what to do with these dissenting voices, then you shouldn't be implementing that policy in the beginning. Policies have to be robust enough to face challenges, to face people being skeptical of them, and still succeed in that in a free society. So he's lamenting that we can't shut down speech like China, can't shut down dissenting voices. Of course, politicians on the other side of the spectrum are going to disagree with you. Of course, some scientists are going to disagree with you. You locked down society. You closed schools for year after year. Those were bad ideas in the beginning, not just in retrospect. You need to have a forum to debate those people, to have those dialogues. You're the NIH director. You could have had a series of town halls where you invited people like Jay Bhattacharya and Martin Kohlsdorf and had an open discussion of the pros and cons. You could put them on YouTube. You have the powers of the federal government. You held 0 debates. You just went on TV and you said proclamation after proclamation. You never tried to assess those. You never conducted randomized trials of NPIs. You never tried to minimize uncertainty. You never brought anyone to the table who might disagree with you. If you were a general in war, you would be the dumbest general on the planet. Because even a general in war wants someone at the table who says, hey, you think maybe we shouldn't invade? Someone make the case that this was a bad idea. Let's hear that argument. I want to hear that argument so I can counter that argument or consider that argument, temper my response. Anybody who makes any significant decision wants to have somebody at the table who disagrees with them. Learning from China, that's what he did. He learned from China. Lockdown was not in any of the pre-pandemic playbooks. School closure was actually not considered for a virus with this low lethality in children. He undermined those things because he was learning from a totalitarian regime. And here he laments the fact that, oh, well, it's so tough to manage the media here because people can say anything. Yeah, that's America. There's always going to be somebody who's arguing the other side. The question is, are you so persuasive? Is your evidence so robust? Are you working so tirelessly to generate more evidence that you can overcome those limitations? And the answer is, he didn't do any of that.